Welcome to the worst of the best podcast. You wanted the best. Well, they didn't freaking make it. So here's what you get. From Canada, Ryan and
Jason. Welcome to another episode of the Worst of the Best podcast. I am your host, Ryan, and with me today, of course, is my brother, Jason. How you doing?
Doing good, brother. How are you?
Good. The elusive Iron Maiden episode. Who knows when it'll be out? It may never happen. I don't know. My friend, he's ghosting me. Not really. He's busy. He's a busy farmhand. Really, he's Alberta with his big family. They run a farm. They're winterizing it right now, and his life is busy now. It's going to happen one day. I just say that for the few people that are wondering where it is, because I actually have a listener who I'm friends with who's like, "Hey, I will do an Iron Maiden episode with you." So he's got another album that he wants to do with me. So that might happen as well in the new year. But this year is not quite over yet. I think by the time this episode comes out, Jay, it's for all intents and purposes, this year's over regarding Google's results of their top searches. This is one of my favorite things that we do at the end of the year. There's two of our episodes that we do at the end of each year that I quite enjoy. One is our Google searches, top Google searches, and of course, the celebrity deaths, which we officially can't record that until literally January 1st is the earliest, because people have died December 31st. Betty White being a great example of that. So we got to wait. You got to, fingers crossed, we got some big ones before the year's over. All right. It's funny. It's behind the curtain here. Jason and I will often I'll just send him a GIF, of an actor or whatever. And it's 90% because that person's died, basically who can.
Yes, right. Who can share the news of a celebrity death before the other one does. Yeah,
it's fun to do. But Jason, we are doing Google searches. I originally did this like the top 11 Google searches. I'm like, it's a little bit too much of the same topics on that. So what I did was, let's do the top one or two per categories. What we're going to do at the end of this episode, though, is we're still going to say what we think is the worst one or two. We can get maybe a couple picks of what we think is the worst search. And the criteria for that is totally your own. Jay, you don't care about the topic. You don't want to search more. That's kind of what we've done in the past, is like, okay, now you have to go Google more. Or do you agree with this search? Like, some of them are pretty obvious why they're there, and I probably added to the algorithm myself, and then we'll talk about that. Okay. So let's start right away, Jay, with the top global. So this is worldwide. And yes, our American and Canadian listeners, people search on Google outside of our countries. And so when these top three searches came up, Jay, I was like, huh?
Well, we should also say that we have global reach.
Oh, right. Of course.
So we have to cater to our global fans.
I know we have some Australian and some UK listeners, but do we have any South American listeners out there? I don't know. Because this first one, Jay, is Copa America. You're like, Jay, if I told you what that was yesterday, would you know what that is?
No. I mean, obviously, the word America would ring a bell, but the Copa part.
Copa. I didn't know what Copa means. Maybe Cup, American Cup, maybe. A better podcast would have translated this, but it doesn't matter. This is the top search. It doesn't matter. No translation is required. Jay, South America's biggest football, or as we North Americans say, yes, soccer. Their biggest football tournament isn't just about the game. It's about national pride. Argentina and Brazil's rivalry has deep roots, and this year's showdown was intense. Argentina's victory, led by, I think I've heard of this guy's name, Lionel Messi. Have you heard of that name?
Yes, I've heard of Lionel Messi a few times in my life.
I have too, but I think it's just this year, probably because of this. Just so people are understanding, this is the number one search thing in the world. That's insane. This football tournament was the number one search thing in the world.
Well, he plays for Miami now.
Oh, does he play for an American team?
Yep. I mean, obviously, I've heard of him because of his global prominence. He is now, in the last couple seasons, he's played in Miami. Pretty sure he's still there. That's a recent development.
So his current team, right, Jay, is Inter Miami.
Right.
Better known as Inter Miami CF, or simply Inter Miami. They're an American professional soccer club based in the Miami metro area. Wow. That's a big name to get, I think, isn't it?
Oh, it's huge. Yeah, right. Pretty much him and Ronaldo would be like the top two people you'd ever want on your team. And I'm not sure who he played for before that, but to be able for him to have left that team and then bring him to America is a pretty big deal.
Right. He led Argentina, Jason, to the victory of Copa America. But it wasn't just the win on the field. It symbolized triumph during tough times for Argentina. See, Brazil, on the other hand, faced backlash for hosting the tournament under political and social unrest. And to make it messier, I get it, messier. Brazil's, you like that? You like that? Okay. To make it messier, Brazil's president, Jair Bolsonaro, tried to ride the team's success for political gain. So the loss to him and his country hit doubly hard. Oof. There you go. So they lost on home turf in Brazil.
So I have to be honest, I did not appreciate the fact that he is from Argentina.
Oh, that he himself, Messi?
Yeah. But now I see his jerseys. I kind of Googled. I see his jerseys, the blue and white, which I believe is Argentinian colors. Yeah, I did not realize that he is from Argentina. Again, it might be just the mudding of where he plays professionally.
Right.
And
he's played in Barcelona.
Barcelona, that's right. So I just thought he was from that area. Did not realize he's from Argentina.
Yeah, he was there from a long time, 2021. So there you go. So that's fair to think that you think that. Sure.
Okay, so UEFA, European Championship, the Euros, or Europe's premier football tournament, and this year was no exception. Italy's nail-biting penalty shootout win against England made headlines. For Italy, it was a glorious return to the top, but for England, it was another heartbreaking loss. The game's controversial referee calls and tactical debates kept fans and analysts searching for every detail.
I never heard about the controversy. Are you aware of the game's controversial referee call?
No, I kind of want to think that maybe I saw something, but I mean, soccer is not on my radar, but I may have seen something, but I want to pretend I know something that I don't know specifically.
There's a few throughout the tournament. There was a Spain versus Germany. There was a handball incident. England versus Netherlands. There was the referee awarded a contentious penalty to England. Scotland versus Hungary. Another one was a penalty appeal was denied. So I guess throughout the tournament, there was a heavy search for this tournament because there was some controversial penalty. And this is, of course, happens in sports. But
yeah, I kind of think that the England one was like right at the very end of the game.
The one against Italy?
Yeah, for Italy, like England's penalty against Italy was at the very end of that game, if I remember correctly.
I think the one you're talking about was semifinal. There was a big one.
Oh,
England and the Netherlands. The penalty was awarded to England. So in the first half, referee Felix Weyer awarded a penalty to England after Denzel Dumfries was judged to have fouled Harry Kane. The decision was contentious with many feelings it was harsh. The Netherlands captain Virgil van Dijk expressed his frustration, noting that the referee, quote, ran back inside straight after the full-time whistle, which he felt says a lot. Interesting. Kind of ran away in shame. So adding to the controversy, Felix Weyer had previously served a 6-month ban for his involvement in a 2005 match-fixing scandal. Why is this guy allowed to referee ever again?
That's crazy.
There you go. So that's probably why this was highly searched. There you go.
So there's all these little penalties or whatever, and then they question the referees that are involved.
Yeah, this guy's already been caught doing stuff illegal. Why is he even allowed back in?
That's crazy. There's not enough referees in the league. Could you imagine being a referee and not allowed to referee in the tournament because this guy that was banned is refereeing the game?
No kidding.
That would be weird too.
So that was the number 2 search. Again, we're not even talking sports. We do have a sports category, by the way. This is just globally. So here's number 3, Jay, another sports. I would never have guessed this, but I guess we shouldn't be surprised. Again, this is America and Canada. There are other countries out there with people, millions of people that live in them. Cricket, ICC Men's T20 World Cup, cricket's short format, high energy tournament had everyone on the edge of their seats, Jason. England, again, took home the title after defeating India. But the tournament wasn't just about the action on the field. Extreme heat during matches raised concerns about player safety and the tension between cricket's colonial roots and its modern-day global fan base added layers to its appeal. You think India would have the advantage with the heat?
Yeah, I don't know. Hot's hot, right?
I guess so, yeah. All right, Jay, why don't you start with the first one? News. Now we're in the categories here. So that was just worldwide research results. Now we're going to break this down to categories. In headline news, what was the number one? What do you think the number one search was in headline news?
I wouldn't know exactly specifically what it would be.
Yeah,
it's the U.S. election. Having said all that, it'll be interesting to see if when we do this next year, if these alien invasion will creep into the.
It came in too late
at the end of this particular year, but we'll see where that goes.
did you hear the latest about why there are drones in New Jersey and why they're there, why they're at night?
I'm not quite sure the nighttime. My biggest concern, there's theories, right?
Sure.
Is if they are sniffing for a dirty bomb.
Yeah,
a dirty bomb or nuclear. Yeah. Yep. You brought up at night. Why night?
Well, I think that's when they get the best signals for radiation. So drones are at night for radiation seeking. Long story short, a guy one of the top CEOs of a drone company in the US released his theory. He says, look, I make drones. I'm the CEO of a drone company. This is how
I know exactly the guy you're talking about. Yeah.
Forget his name. He goes, this is just my guess because how drones operate, what they're looking for. And the reason why there's reports of higher radiation in New Jersey in that area, it's not because of the drones aren't giving the radiation. They're looking for radiation because a nuclear weapon would actually leave a radiation trail. We'll see if we have headlines next year.
I was just about to say, we may not even have a podcast.
Well, we barely have one as it is, but
that's true. So a nuclear fallout may or may not make a difference to us and our followers, but
we'll be doing our podcast from the bunkers. That'd be awesome. This is Ryan Jason out there talking to whoever's listening. Keep fighting free power. All right, go ahead and read the write up there on the U.S. elections. Why were these such a draw this year?
Obviously, there was the re-election, right, for the presidential seat that's going to become available on January 20th. So Donald Trump's re-election campaign brought the drama this year, from voter suppression allegations to fiery debates. Him having an assassination attempt or two would help bring in the Google searches.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, of course.
Love him or hate him, people couldn't stop Googling him. His win fueled questions about the future of U.S. and what his second term could mean globally.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, obviously 4 years will answer that question. So again, we'll see in 4 years, Jay, at the end of his term, what kind of headlines we'll have. It'll be very interesting to see what those headlines will be. But yeah, goes without saying, the elections themselves every 4 years is going to draw a lot of news and Googling. But this one was a very passionate, which is fine. We like that. In fact, I encourage that. It's good to have that passion, right? People are investigating, they're learning, they're looking into things. That's how I feel that's how you should make a vote.
An informed,
informed. Thank you.
Yeah, an informed decision. And I should add some really good memes. And
yeah, there's a lot of meme making. That's true. There was a lot of yeah. So people had to Google certain news clips and memes to make me on both sides of the aisle had some fun memes for sure. Yeah. All right. Number 2. This would surprise me. I guess I heard about it. Oh yeah, we should be saying, did we add to the algorithm? I would say for the first one, Jay, with the 2 soccer tournaments and the cricket, did you add to the algorithm with those at all?
0.
Yeah, okay, me too. U.S. election, I think you and I both added to the algorithm.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Now, did you add to the algorithm with this one, though, Jay? Number 2 search news event was extreme heat. Did you Google that, look into it, ask about it?
No.
Okay. So this year, heat waves smashed records worldwide. I didn't realize they had done that. So with Europe, Asia, and parts of the U.S. seeing life-threatening temperatures, people turn to Google to figure out how to stay cool, recognize heat stroke symptoms, and prepare for a hotter planet.
I think the way to combat the extreme heat is to do what the celebrities and the elite do, and that's live right along the ocean. The cool ocean breeze helps you cool down, dip into the ocean, and cool off.
No, I always appreciate when elite people tell me how to live. I appreciate that. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. All right, Olympic Games. But this is something that only happens every 4 years as well. So just like the election, every 4 years, this one hit, of course.
Without looking, Ryan, where were the games?
Stop. Why are you doing that to me? Just wait. Whoa, Paris?
Oh, yeah. No, right? I think you're right.
Okay. Hey, yeah.
I was thinking, was it Russia? But it can't be Russia. I mean,
no.
Why no one's Googling Russia and Ukraine?
Don't forget, the Russia-Ukraine war has been happening for 3 to 4 years now. I hate to say it's old news, but it's kind of like, what are you Googling?
Yeah.
I think that war made one of our lists. I think it made, if you go back in time, I think that made the list a year or 2 ago, quite frankly. I hate to say it's old news, but it's kind of old news.
Yeah. The Olympics usually bring joy and awe, but this year also came with controversies, unfair judging, doping scandals, and debates over new sports like breakdancing kept the games in the spotlight. Still, inspiring performances and medal moments gave fans plenty to cheer for. But then also the opening ceremonies and all the weird display.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It was in Paris. That's right. That makes more sense. Why was it so weird? Why did it have to be so weird? I don't get it.
I don't understand.
I guess it's cultural. I guess it's cultural.
Is it?
I guess. I don't know. Well, I'm not from France. I don't know.
I don't think anybody cared about the sports. I didn't watch one event. I saw the opening ceremony clips. Like, I remember being at work, people going, "Did you see the opening ceremony?" So I'm like, "No," because I have not that much interest in the
That's why they
Olympics.
do it. Yeah, I think we're proving your point. I think you're proving the point. Controversy. It's headline grabbing. Sex sells. Controversy sells. Wasn't there a picture of a guy's penis hanging out? Wasn't there something like that? Like, it was weird. It's a headline grabbing, Jay. Absolutely, that added to the algorithm. You know what? I might have added to the algorithm because I think when I heard about the controversy, I looked into it. Yeah, I added to the algorithm.
And that's probably pretty much when I realized the Olympics were on.
Sure.
Did you hear any build up to it? I don't really recall anything, and that might be why they're like, no one cares.
Yeah, what they did, of course, is they did some Christian imagery, and that's going to cause controversy. Of course, Christians are an easy mark.
They're an easy target because the response is passive.
It is. It's always like, hey, come on, guys.
It's always turn the other cheek.
Now we're going to go into people, Jay, that aren't sports. There is a sports result, but these are people. The number one Google person, I wonder if this individual will make a list or two in the future, but we have Donald Trump making the number one search. He's a polarizing presence, and he continued and continues to dominate global headlines. From his re-election to ongoing legal battles, the search spikes reflected curiosity about his plans, policies, and controversies. So whether you like him, you're curious about his plans and policies, and if you don't like him, you're obviously going to look into his controversies. So he was big on the algorithm, Donald Trump.
Yeah, and I suspect the next 4 years, this won't change much.
Number two, Jay, who was the second person? This one surprised me. This was number two search person.
Yeah, this surprises me as well. Kate Middleton, Princess of Wales, was in the news for both good and speculative reasons. Her increasing royalty responsibilities, charity work, and iconic fashion kept her in the public eye. But whispers about her health, with noticeable weight loss during appearances, sparked concerns about the toll royal life might be taking on her.
Kate Middleton did make a rare comment about her cancer journey. She says, I didn't know what this year was going to be. So she's had quite a year. The Princess of Wales, she's now 42. In December 6th, she said, I didn't know this year was going to be the year that I've just had. I think lots of people this year have had such challenging times, and many who are here today. It appears, Jason, that she did have cancer, but neither herself nor the palace have revealed what type.
Okay.
Kept it private. So that's why people were Googling. Just like we did now, Jay. We just added to the algorithm. We just made it more number two.
But did you really think much of her, though? The royal family in a general sense? I mean, it holds no interest in me.
I admit, when I heard rumors and headlines about the cancer, I think I did Google it. I think I looked into it enough because it's a pretty big thing, right? She's young. She's younger than us. She's got a lovely family, and she seems innocent enough. I have no issues with her, qualms with her.
Yeah.
I don't know her, but I don't think she's a bad person. I think she's as good as a human can be in the sense of just, you know, she does good. She does charity and all that good stuff. She fulfills her role of a Princess of Wales very well. I think she does pattern her life after Diana in many ways. So anyways, when I heard about the cancer scare, I was like, you got to be kidding me. This poor family, right? The guy loses his mom at a young age. Now his wife has cancer. Like, it just also goes to show you that the human experience, whether you're royal family or just schlubs like us, it's the human experience, right? Number three, Kamala Harris. Even Catherine beat Kamala. I'm not going to try to get political, or it's kind of telling that
yes,
the Princess of Wales was investigated more by the American public than Kamala. Google gave these stats saying these are the search for things, and you can Google this yourself. But Kamala Harris certainly didn't beat Trump, and she didn't even beat Catherine. Well, it's very telling.
It is very, very telling. That's interesting. I would not have anticipated that type of gap.
So the U.S. Vice President stayed in the spotlight, whether for her leadership or her viral, awkward moments. People search for everything from her policies to her place in history as the first female vice president. Now, the next category is celebrities who passed, notable passings. I'm not even going to list them, Jay, because we're saving that for our special end of the year category. So we're just going to leave that out. We're just going to move on. Movies. I can't believe, Jason, this was the number one Googled movie of 2024. Even beat out Wolverine. I'm surprised by this.
Inside Out 2. Is it wrong that I know there was an Inside Out 1?
It's a kid's show.
Okay, so Pixar's sequel to its emotional hit had fans eager to explore adolescence and mental health through its signature creative lens. Early buzz hinted at darker things, sparking curiosity about how Disney would balance it all. Did you see the first one?
No, my kids did, and they quite like them. They like those movies. So I guess parents are probably Googling when's it coming out, when to see it, because it was probably a big box office draw. There's a lot of kids in the States, parents taking the kids. I'm surprised that even made the top 5. Because number 2, I'm not surprised about. And that's Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice. This is Tim Burton's spooky cult classic. Made a comeback with cast like Jenna Ortega adding to the hype. She's a big deal. And also nostalgia played a huge role as fans searched for updates on how the sequel would honor the original. So this one didn't surprise me making the top list because even I knew about it. Even I was curious about it. I haven't seen it yet. We showed the kids the first Beetlejuice, and we haven't seen the second one yet. And kids liked it. It's quirky. It's fun. It's Tim Burton. They're not bored watching it. I heard Beetlejuice. It's the same quirky fun. It's like if you like the first one, it's the same flavor for part 2. So you're not going to be disappointed, but it doesn't break new ground.
Well, I definitely heard about Beetlejuice, not Inside Out 2. And then we have It Ends With Us. It's based on Colleen Hoover's best-selling novel. This adaptation faced backlash for casting choices, but still intrigued fans. The book's heavy themes of resilience and love made it a must-watch for its devoted audience.
Now, the only reason why I know about this movie, I know about a little bit, is because it stars, I believe, Ryan Reynolds' wife.
Oh.
Blake Lively, is that her name? She produced the film.
Oh.
It stars her, so it's a passion project. And I believe it came out around the same time that Deadpool and Wolverine came out. So I think Ryan helped kind of promote the film because it came around the same time. And the film did fairly well. Like the budget of $25 million, so it's a low budget, all intents and purposes, pretty low budget film. And it made $350 million worldwide. So definitely made its money back. I guess it was a popular novel. Here's the conflict that people are probably talking about, Jay. So sources told Hollywood Reporter that an alleged conflict formed between Blake Lively and the director, Justin Baldoni, which is never good when the star of the show and the main actor are having to fight. During post-production, after the film underwent a week of reshoots, Lively commissioned a second cut of the film from editor Shane Reed. He worked on Deadpool and Wolverine, starring Ryan Reynolds. So the edit used in theaters, reportedly the version Lively preferred, was credited to 2 other people. In addition, the publication confirmed that Reynolds wrote a large chunk of the dialogue for a scene set on a balcony, allegedly in April, before the strike, which Baldoni was not told of. So speculation about the alleged rift grew on platforms such as TikTok. In videos that noted Baldoni's absence from joint press events. In August 2024, Baldoni hired a public relations crisis manager. Lastly, the bad blood between the two is very real, and the relationship may not be salvageable. So in some ways, Blake, using Ryan Reynolds' star power, they kind of did stuff behind the director's back and made their own cut and undermined the director.
So I just looked it up on Audible because I don't know anything about it. It's got pretty good ratings for the book, but it's a series. So I'm not sure if this movie incorporates the whole series or if it's just a book 1 of the series. But if they have a conflict with the director, chances are if they're going to do another one to follow up this one, he probably will not be participating. It sounds like.
Yeah, it just says here the director stated that he would not return as a director if they did.
Okay.
So it's over.
For him, anyways.
Yeah, for him. Not for Blake. She's the star and she produced it anyway. So she might just direct her first film for part 2. Okay. Now, this next movie, number 4 movie, I've heard about. I would like to see. I just haven't seen it yet. I've heard about it. I'm interested. I even added to the algorithm just to see where it's playing. It's called Saltburn. It's a visually stunning psychological drama that mixes privilege, excess, and scandal together. Its divisive themes and bold storytelling earned rave reviews and heated debates. It's on Prime, I believe. So it is a movie I would like to see. It Ends With Us doesn't really interest me. No offense to Blake. She's lovely, but the Saltburn does interest me. All right, Jay, TV shows, the number 1 search show on Netflix. I did watch it. Did you? And go ahead and talk about it.
It's a gripping series about obsession and stalking based on Richard Gadd's award-winning play, left viewers questioning the line between victim and perpetrator. The real-life basis of the story only added to its chilling appeal. Oh, so it's based on true events?
Yeah. So what's fascinating is Richard Gadd. He did a one-man. I believe it was a one-man show, which is always crazy. So it's like a storytelling, right? He did this on stage, talking about these events, and he then starred as himself in the series. So he played himself as the victim of being stalked by a woman in the Netflix series, which is kind of odd, eh? Like, to play your own events. Of course, it's dramatized, and it's a fascinating story. The setup really quickly is he's a bartender and a kind of quirky, overweight, type of woman comes in, and she seems a little bit homely and awkward and weird. And the bartender, being a nice guy, just is nice to her and says, "Hey, how you doing?" And she just basically obsesses and falls in love with him. It creates this whole relationship with him. I won't spoil anything, but it's a fascinating story. The woman herself has been interviewed. She was on Piers Morgan, actually, the woman, and she, of course, comes off just as bad as you would think. So her claims of innocence didn't work. She just absolutely seems, unfortunately, with mental health issues. Yeah.
You mean the waitress at the Denny's restaurant that I go to when they're nice to me? They don't. It's not because of me.
Yeah. The Hooters waitress. I mean, she doesn't really like you. Yeah. She wants a tip.
Man.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, she's just doing her job.
Yeah.
I just laugh at that because there's a lot of memes out there.
Oh, I know.
The older gentleman, like person my age, middle-aged man.
Sure.
And then the waitress, the nice young waitress is pleasant and polite. I still got it.
Yeah. I know they're lying to me because I never had it. So if they're telling me I have it now at my age, it's a lie.
Yeah.
So.
If they're paying attention to me now. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. I'm in your establishment. You're serving me food and expecting or hoping for a bigger tip, and you're being nice to me. Go figure. Yeah. Okay. So musicians, Jay. Do you have any guesses who the top musician was Googled in 2024?
Well, I mean,
not for his music.
I see it, but it's not surprising, and all for the wrong reasons.
Oh, really? It's not for his big new album that just dropped?
No, and actually, the two that I see here, they go hand in hand. Yeah, we'll do one at a time. But yeah, let's do Diddy first.
So Diddy.
Let's do Diddy first.
Let's do Diddy first. Yeah. That was set at a few of those freak parties. So yeah, of course, Diddy made headlines, Jay, with his freak out parties. Is that what they call freak out parties?
Yeah.
He's basically another Epstein list issue. He's got parties, he's got videotapes, he's got photographs. People are speculating, of course, that he's going to plea. And that plea would mean he's going to, what's the word I'm looking for? Implicate. He's going to implicate other people with a plea. So he's going to say, look, if you're going to take me down, I've got names, I've got numbers, I've got receipts. So that is what people are kind of waiting for. You've already kind of seen some people saying, ooh, I don't know if I was ever really his friend. And people are kind of starting to steer clear and hoping that.
Well, now there's rumors that there's tapes out there that people are bidding for. People have tapes and then so let's say, for an example, a name that has been associated, but let's pretend, like, say, LeBron James, who says that he nothing like a P. Diddy party, right? So then he'll find out that there's video or tapes of him out there, and then they're bidding for that tape to get it back.
Well, maybe just keep some fresh, keep memories, fun memories.
Yes, it's a keepsake.
The next name. Why is this name here? Do you know about why Usher is number 2?
Well, they're suggesting Usher's Las Vegas residency brought him back into the spotlight, but a viral moment involving Keke Palmer at his show sparked drama online, keeping him trending for both music and tabloid reasons. He is the one that brought Justin Bieber to Diddy. That's the real reason why Usher's in the spotlight, because Justin Bieber was rumored to be exploited by P. Diddy. I mean, so yeah, maybe there's this Las Vegas residency, maybe there's this experience with Keke Palmer, but I would suggest there's a little bit more to it than just that.
So apparently, the regarding the Keke Palmer, I don't know who this Keke Palmer is.
Neither do I. First I've ever heard of it.
So during one of Usher's Las Vegas residency shows, Keke Palmer attended wearing a sheer black dress over a thong bodysuit. So Usher serenaded her during his performance, which led to a viral moment. Palmer's then boyfriend, Darius Jackson, publicly criticized her attire on social media, stating, quote, "It's the outfit, though. You a mom," end quote. This comment sparked widespread debate about relationship boundaries and public shaming. Subsequently, Palmer and Jackson ended their relationship. So there you go. So in response to the controversy, Usher released a music video for his song Boyfriend featuring Keke Palmer. The video includes lyrics like, quote, "Somebody said that your boyfriend is looking for me," end quote, which many interpreted as a nod to the incident. Palmer's participation was seen as addressing the drama humorously. Regarding Usher and Justin, Usher has a long-standing relationship with Justin, having played a pivotal role in Bieber's early career. And yes, recently there were discussions about Bieber making a surprise appearance during Usher's Super Bowl halftime show. However, Bieber declined. Both Usher and Bieber have been indirectly mentioned in controversies involving music industry execs. Former Death Row Records CEO Suge Knight alleged that certain executives used unethical means to control artists, naming both Usher and Bieber among those affected. And these claims have not been independently verified and remain part of a broader industry discussions. So there's that talk as well that maybe even Usher was a victim of
Oh, I'm sure he was groomed.
I mean, part of that grooming was bring a friend.
Or he learned patterns.
Right. Jay, what's the number one food recipe that was Googled? Olympic chocolate muffins. So Norwegian swimmer Henrik Christensen, his training treat became a viral sensation during the Olympics. Fans searched for the recipe to see if these muffins were truly performance enhancing or just delicious. If you eat a muffin, Jay, you become an Olympic athlete.
Especially chocolate ones.
So that was the number one Googled recipe. Move over, Martha Stewart. Henrik Christensen's got some Olympic chocolate muffins. That's just kind of a fun. Speaking of fun, Jay, this is the number one game. Which have you ever played this one?
No, I hadn't heard it.
It might have been on last year's list, to be honest with you. I think it made last year's list two years in a row.
Really? I don't recall it. This addictive word association puzzle became a daily obsession for players worldwide. Google searches skyrocketed as fans looked for strategies, solutions, and tips to master the game. Connections. Yeah, so the game's Connections. I don't know what it is. Similar to a word search. Oh, do you?
It's actually kind of fun. It's frustratingly hard. It just like it can seem very easy, and some days it is kind of easy, but some days you're like, what? Basically, it's 4 categories. You don't know what the categories are because that gives away the answer. You discover the categories by doing the game, and you get 16 words, 4 categories. The words will be, let's be simple here. The category is sports, but you don't know what sports. So you see bat, glove, ball, base, amongst the 16 words. Like, okay, those are all baseball things. And the other one could be spices. So you see oregano, thyme. You're basically putting together, but it's not what you think. Sometimes you'll see bat, ball, and base. But then you could see, for base, you also see military. Or you're like, oh, is it a military base? Or so you don't know if the word belongs to that category, this one, because it has more than one meaning. So anyways, that's Connections. It's fun.
So there's 16 words, and you got to find the 4 categories in those 16 words?
That's right. So and they only belong to one category each. Yeah, each word. So it's groups of 4 categories, 16 words. Yeah. So that was the number one Google thing, which I Google it every day to play it. So it just shows you that this is a very popular game that people Google and play daily. So yeah, it's beating Wordle, I guess. There you go. Jay, we've got a very famous athlete, the number one Googled athlete in the world. Was it LeBron James? No. Was it Mike Tyson? No. Have you ever heard of Imane Khalif? The Algerian boxer was the number one.
Yeah.
Khalif made headlines after winning the gold medal at the Olympics, but faced controversy over allegations of being biologically male. Despite possessing XY chromosomes, she met all hormonal and eligibility criteria to compete in the women's category. So the backlash she faced highlighted the complexities of gender in sports. So Khalif does possess, clinically, like scientifically possesses XY chromosomes. They were born a cis male by the chromosome count. Hormonal count, depending on the sport or category, is how they were able to compete in the women's category. That's the complexities of gender, Jason, in sports. That's the very thing that people Googled and questioned and wondered. And this is what people are looking into. This is what they're trying to figure out. This is why it's a highly Googled situation. I don't know what's happened with this. I don't know what the outcome was. I think they still...
I think there was a follow-up not that long ago.
Yeah, I guess we have to Google it.
Yeah.
Jason, number one sports team.
Yeah, the New York Yankees. They were all over Google this year after blockbuster trades, including acquiring star outfielder Juan Soto. Fans were eager to see how these changes would shape the team's future after a challenging season.
Did they win? Who won? Oh, the Dodgers won the World Series. That's right. They defeated the Yankees in 5 games. I think another reason why they were searched too was, you can tell that Jason and I don't follow baseball. Another reason why the Yankees, I think, didn't they have a big trade just happen to the Mets? I saw some social media stuff on that. Like it just happened this month.
Oh, yeah.
And they lost like a big player and they went to the Mets. So that was part of the controversy. Is like,
so the New York Yankees traded somebody to the New York Mets, or they left.
The Yankees, though, Jay, were the number one sports team. They're the number one sports team. And they're obviously a huge fan base, huge population in New York. So it maybe not surprising they were the number one search sports team. And also due to their World Series final appearance, but also their loss in that appearance. So the LA Dodgers winning their eighth championship. Wow.
How many of the Yankees won?
Now, they've been around forever, which, those are early. The Yankees have won 27 world championships. So in our lifetime, they've won two, since we were born. So the last 50 years, they've won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not only 7. So the LA Dodgers have won maybe more in the last 50 years. They've won 9 or 8.
So that's a good rivalry, eh?
Yeah, I would say so. Probably.
Yeah.
Like, I think they have met before a few times, I think is the thing. Yeah.
Rivalry between LA and New York. Those are two major U.S. cities.
Yeah. It's east and west.
Culturally different. Yeah. East, west.
Yeah. The reason why these are top search, a lot of controversies. That's the whole point. A controversy breeds curiosity. It breeds why. Why is this a thing? Because even some of these headlines, when I did the, I just went to Google and said, what are the top Google searches? And then it gave it to me. It's like, oh, that list isn't very exciting. So I said, give it to me in categories. And that's why we have the categories. Because I didn't want to just talk, like if you saw the top 11, I think the 5 of them were literally soccer, Jay. So I'm like, well, give me different categories other than just the worlds. That's why we had stuff that was more stateside stuff. But what I'm getting at is like the reason why all of these, for majority of them, are controversial. That's what people want to hear about. They kind of, not that we like it, but like, why? You know, why Diddy? Why Trump? Why Harris? Even like the movie, it ends with us. Like, it wasn't about the film, it was about the controversy behind the film. Baby Reindeer, it was a controversial subject. Like, it was like, or, it's kind of a true crime. Diddy and Usher. Even Taylor Swift wasn't the most Googled because controversial. Like, Diddy's more exciting to talk about. And people are Googling it for news pieces and da-da-da-da. Yeah, the only kind of positive ones were games and recipes. Even the athlete, the number one athlete, controversial topic, very sensitive. People are very, very strongly have feelings on this. And lastly, New York Yankees. Let's see. Yankee fans are very passionate. Let me know in the comments. I swear there was my understanding, I don't know the name of the person, but I think the Yankees did trade somebody to the Mets because I saw some TikTok videos about people getting very mad and like, why'd you have to go to the Mets? Like, of all the places, because that's obviously the two New York rivalries. So Jay, I think for worst pick, I'm going to have to go with, I'm not even going to talk about the soccer because it's very fascinating that it was number 1, but to keep it sort of interesting, for me, it's going to be what do I not want to learn more about at all? Okay. Meaning like, I can't believe this has made the top pick. So I'm going to go with the chocolate muffins. I'm not interested in the recipe. I'm not interested in the Norwegian swimmer themselves. I don't care about the swimming. I am most surprised this made. What would make a recipe list? I don't know. But part of my criteria is like, what would I Google more about and search more for? I have no interest in learning more about the chocolate muffins. If you're going to go with the criteria of what are you the least likely to Google when this episode's over?
What would be the least interesting to me?
I mean, you could throw in the soccer, but I thought maybe to make it a little.
Well, I was going to say cricket. Like,
sure, but that's too easy.
That's too easy. It's like, man, I'm going to have to probably go with you. I don't eat muffins. I will never Google a muffin recipe.
Well, maybe you could make them for your family or neighbors or someone,
Still, I like cooking way more than baking.
Sure.
To sit down and do bakery things, cookies or a cake or a muffin. Yeah. I find that way more tedious. So, a muffin. I'll never Google a muffin.
Well, we hope you had fun with us, guys. The whole idea is to have fun. I know there's some sensitive topics on here, politics and other stuff. We try to keep it light. We try to keep it down the middle. People have very strong feelings on this, but that's why these are top search topics, because people have strong feelings on this. They want to learn more, or they want to combat more, or whatever it is. That's fine. The beauty of the internet is we have information, Jay, at our fingertips that we just 40, 30 years ago. This is just crazy that we can do this. So we didn't have information at our fingertips. The fact that we could just, as we're recording, we kind of looked up things to clarify as we're recording. That's amazing technology if you think about it. At the end of the day, that we can punch in some letters and then, there's more information for us. So it's a fascinating thing. It can be a dangerous thing, but I also think it can be a very powerful thing in a good way too, to be informed. Today, though, we don't care about being informed regarding chocolate muffins. I think that's wishing everyone a happy new year in 2025. Best of luck to the Yankees. Best of luck to Trump. Best of luck to the Heat. Maybe it's a cooler year.